Here are 6 guaranteed ways to start retraining a trigger-happy, sensitized brain and nervous system so it stops overreacting. Being sensitive in this world is a double-edged sword. It can make us kind, caring, productive, but can also make us vulnerable to our environment, as well as overachieving, perfectionistic, and believe it or not, it can actually be a sign of an underlying physiological problem. Bright lights are too harsh. I have to leave the room. Loud sounds, they hurt my ears. Harsh chemicals and smells, they make me feel sick immediately. The lightest touch anywhere on my body, it feels like pain. Or even, I startle at just the littlest thing. So these are all statements that I hear on a daily basis from my patients that have adrenal fatigue. And if you can relate, it means you have something called central sensitization. And unless you deal with it, it's slowing down your healing progress. Central sensitization is what happens to your nervous system when it gets so overwhelmed that it starts overreacting to everything. Pain, noise, smells, stress, even life itself. It's the result of an overstimulated, overstressed nervous system over time. What happens is that your brain starts to overperceive its environment as dangerous. And this then, it feeds forward to keep your body stuck in fight or flight. Now, the central part means central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord, but this sensitization actually happens all over the body, all the nerves. Our major stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, are known to make our nerves more easily triggered. So that when we're stressed and releasing excess stress hormones, it keeps our body on this hair trigger so it can react more efficiently to a threat. And that makes sense, from a survival purpose. But the challenge is that there's no life-threatening issues like a predator that you have to deal with right now. You're just standing in like a big box store. But there are a multitude of other triggers to that nervous system on a daily basis that then keep us stuck in fight or flight. Could be traffic, noise, deadlines, toxic chemicals, past trauma. All of them keep us stuck in fight or flight. Dr. Posnecker, before me, he said that if you could only have one word to describe our patients with adrenal fatigue, that word would have to be sensitive. Which got me to wondering, is it that sensitive people are more likely to develop adrenal fatigue, or that adrenal fatigue makes people more sensitive? And what I've learned is that the answer is both. Here are 6 guaranteed ways to start retraining a trigger-happy, sensitized brain and nervous system so it stops overreacting. First, you can and should develop tools and techniques to do acutely in the moment when you're overstimulated. Noticing can help ground us, bring it back into the present moment. Slowly with intent, look around. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you can feel. You can also use your breath to affect your nervous system. Anytime you have an exhalation that's longer than your inhalation, you're turning on that opposite side of your stress response physiology, your rest and digest. This physiology works incredibly well. The physiologic sigh is another way to do it. 2 quick inhalations followed by an extended exhalation. Now, outside of a reactive treatment, which I just described, you also want to be proactive as well. Prioritize rest. Create a safe place in your local environment. Retreat back there as often as you can and need to be. I call it the bubble. It could be your bedroom. You want to create a sanctuary that's clean, cool, calm, calming smells, music, spa-like. Turn on your vagus nerve. We need to flex that opposite side of our muscle, that opposite the fight or flight, which is that vagus nerve. Nature, gratitude, journaling, mindfulness, grounding, gargling. Life pushes us into the opposite physiologic direction, so we have to make a conscious, daily, even hourly effort to turn on that vagus nerve. Develop a consistent mind-focusing relaxation exercise routine so that you can start to rewire the brain up in the limbic system. Even just 10 minutes twice a day does the trick. Focus on one thing, and your mind drifts away, which it will. Just bring it back. That's it. The last thing I'll share with you is that there are also key nutrients that become deficient with an overactive stress response that are essential to replace, as well as other nutrients that can help to rewire the brain and change those trigger-happy neural pathways. Things like basic macro minerals, zinc, magnesium, calcium, omega-3s, antioxidants, certain phospholipids, even green tea, and some herbal constituents like bicolin or berberine or even curcumin that are super effective at actually rewiring your central nervous system, calming that trigger-happy limbic system in the brain, and desensitizing your nerves so that you can start to slip out of fight or flight, feel less anxious, nervous, and wired, turn on that opposite side of your physiology, which is where you will heal.